Hello scholars, welcome back to the Kemet Maasai Academy. We are continuing our series of motivational videos for students. Of course, I'm reading from the Student's Master Plan, Hardcore Rules for a Lifetime of Success. The topic that I'm looking at right now is entitled, Have Your Humble Pie and Eat It Too. Most of the important lessons you learn in life will come from failures. Half of the mistakes you will make by yourself. The other half you will observe courtesy of others. Failure is the launching pad for success. Each time you graduate to a higher level along the ladder of academics, a new standard is reached and the expectations are higher. You become the proverbial little fish in a big pond. Less and less people feel inclined to dote out oohs and ahs and pat you on the back. Suddenly, you start to wonder if you were really so bright after all. In kindergarten, they asked, "You did this all by yourself?" In primary school, they say, "Make sure to do it all by yourself." In high school, they ask, "Is that all you did?" You begin to question your aptitude. The best approach is always do your best, follow instructions, stick to the guidelines and meet deadlines. Double check for errors, grammatical and factual. Write more than one drafts, at all times improving on the last. Get your information from more than one sources and keep checking back to see that you are still on the right track. If after all that you still fail, try to be graceful and try to find out why you failed. Knowing why you failed is one of the first steps in avoiding subsequent failures. If you were an entrant in a competition, remember the adage, the judge's decision is final. Throwing a tantrum will not make them declare you the winner. In fact, it might bar you from having the opportunity to try again next year. Judges typically don't negotiate with terrorists. The only thing that can make failure negative is your attitude towards it. Eat your humble pie, brush the crumbs from your mouth, and put your apron back on. Time to cook up some success. Now the passage talked about being a small fish. Let me find back that section. A little fish in a big pond, right? A little fish in a big pond. No, and sometimes you find you're coming from a situation where you were a big fish in a small pond. So for example, when I was at all-age school, now all-age school it was like merging primary school with the lower levels of high school. So from grade 1 to I think it was about grade 8. Yeah, from grade 1 to grade 8. And I was very bright. I was very bright in all-age school. I was the valedictorian at my graduation and all that. So I was a big deal. And then I remember when I passed my common entrance exams and I went to high school, there were all these other bright girls, and it was shocking. It was a bit overwhelming because here I'm saying, okay, am I really it's like you start to question, am I really that special? I used to think I was the thing, because where I was coming from, up in the hills in rural St. Andrew, yes, we had bright kids in the class, but I was the brightest one. And, everybody was oohing and awing over my performance. And here I was in high school with 7 different classes in the grade, in that one grade, 7 different classes, and 30 odd, maybe 40 odd students in the one class. Where I was coming from, there was just one grade 6 class, and maybe we had 30 something students. And you had these brilliant girls. Now we had streaming. I was placed in, there were 7 grades. I think A was the lowest in terms of the streaming, and G was the highest, if my memory serves me right. And when I was placed in E. So E, and then you'd have F and G, and there were these girls in F and G who were like whiz, whiz kids. And I had to eat my humble pie. I had to say, hey, these girls are brilliant. It was an all-girls school, right? Catholic school. These girls coming in from prep school, exposed to things that I never dreamt of back in my country school. So it took some getting used to. But, after a while, you started getting used to the system and working your way into it and so on, and regained your footing, regained your confidence. But it was a blow to my ego. It was a rude awakening for me, landing in class E and realizing that there were girls in F and G who were brilliant, extremely brilliant. And this happens too when you're moving from high school to college, especially if you're leaving your little region, maybe going to college abroad, where you have students coming from all over the world, the best of the best, the creme de la creme. It might cause you to, to doubt yourself, to say, wow, I thought I was the thing. Coming out of my high school, maybe the valedictorian at my high school graduation, and everybody was raving and got a scholarship and whatever. And then here I am in this Ivy League college, for example. And here are these other kids coming from halfway around the world or wherever, and they are like firing. It can cause you to eat, you have to eat your humble pie. By eating your humble pie, we mean you just have to tone it down a bit and accept that, yes, you're all that. I'm not saying you're not all that, but there are others who are also all that. And some of them who are all that and more, right? So it's you have to readjust yourself, reposition yourself, and remember. And what you really learn is that competition is stiff. The world is shrinking, and more persons are coming together from all over the world to compete for the top positions. And so what you have to do then is to stay on the cutting edge, stay sharp. Get yourself, you have to keep running. I believe it was Alice in Wonderland, a quotation I remember reading, you have to run twice as fast to stay right where you are. I hope I'm not misquoting. If I am, let me apologize, but I think I remember reading that quote from Alice in Wonderland. You have to run twice as fast to stay right where you are. The world is becoming more and more and more competitive, and you're accustomed to a particular standard and everybody raving and so on, and then you get to another level and realize, hey, this is not going to cut it anymore. I have to sharpen I have to up my game if I want to remain competitive, right? But if you are serious about being a scholar and being a top-notch scholar, then you will quickly fall into that. You will quickly realize that, hey, Let me do what I have to do. Let me do what it takes to stay on top. Stay on top of my game. Stay in the creme de la creme. Alright, if you have been motivated by this video, please share it. Share it with other students, other parents, other teachers, so they can be motivated as well. Remember, the Kemet Maasai Academy has motivational videos, tons of them, for students. In addition to that, we have tons and tons and tons of mathematics videos from grade 4 to grade 11. This is something that you should take advantage of. This is something I'm encouraging you to share with other students, especially those who you know are struggling in mathematics and really could use that boost. These videos are done with the intention of breaking down the barriers, dissipating the fear that so many persons have of mathematics. That is my intention. That's my ultimate goal. So I try as best as possible to be clear, to be, to explain the concepts in a way that everybody can understand. So I would love for you to share these videos. I would love for you to subscribe to the Kemet Maasai Academy and tell others about it so they can benefit as well. My scholars, I will see you in the next video.